Hey guys, this is Raphael. I am an artist and picture book illustrator. In today's video, I'm going to be showing a demonstration on two bees drinking tea. Now, it might kind of sound absurd because like two bees and drinking tea, how does that happen? Well, it's a bit of an experiment. I kind of got this off of a sort of a prompt list of looking at characters. I kind of just wanted to run around and say, it's a little bit of a rhyme I found. It's like, why don't I do something out of it? Why don't I make it into an illustration? So that's what I decided to do. And as also for that, I kind of wanted to do a bit of a more experience on color theory. So one of the things I wanted to tackle as well was using warm colors. So as you see me working on the painting, I only worked on using warm colors. So that's what it came to be. Maybe think of warm colors since tea, tea, think of something warm, or honey, warm and sweet. So kind of have that idea. So that's what made me think of it. So as I explain my process, I first sketched it out, and then I inked it. But as for the color goes, I wanted to really emphasize on warm colors. So how can I make it interesting with just using those variations? So for the background, I kind of just I muted it out with yellow, sort of like that ugly yellow. And then I kind of brought it up with the brighter yellows and mid-tones for the background. I didn't want to get too detailed because usually when you think of beehives, you think of really abstract shapes and kind of like an ugly looking atmosphere kind of. But I kind of wanted to keep that intact, and I kind of just wanted to make that about. That's how the background is really rough because I really wanted the characters, the bees themselves, to be the main focal point. So I didn't care too much about making it look all fine and pretty and trying to make that. And usually something organic is not usually very pretty. I have that, and I kind of it's in the background to make it gold. I have a tunnel, and I wanted to make it in depth. I wanted different shades of yellow, different shades of oranges, and kind of giving it that earth tone flair to it. And as for the background, in the foreground as well, I kind of wanted the floor to make it more of a contrast. So I made it a little bit more dull, while the background has the brighter honey like in the floor. I kind of made it like sort of in the ground, and I get it increasings, just make it like it's the dirt. As a background, I kind of wanted to do a bit of a touch on the characters. So I did more than characters, and I just a very light cream kind of table. And then as for the beads, I actually made those the most bold, less set, more saturated. And I kind of made it, and I wanted to make it an orange, the orangey redness, like how those beads are, like just very burst out into the forward. And have them drinking tea, and it's sitting on a leaf. And I just wanted to make it look like, oh, they're lounging. Like they're not angry bees. They're just relaxed bees, nice and hot, lounging. And I kind of just went over the ink parts, just like, oh, it's in color. I kind of, I kind of like fell into that habit of kind of coloring my inks rather than just having them leaving black. Like, oh, kind of gives it a characteristic. Kind of like that's one of the things I kind of liked how what the Disney Animated Studios did back in the '90s. When they started doing digital, they kind of went over it, and I kind of liked it how I did that. I grew up in the '90s, so I kind of have that bit of a soft spot of that aesthetic. So as I do that part, I kind of just go over the characters, even the background, kind of have them together, be unified, and I kind of And I want to make sure, even with my warm colors, I kind of want them all to be different variations. I don't want them to be blended and getting lost. So it's always kind of good to keep going backwards on them and kind of just giving them that variation. So even if I'm limited in terms of temperature, I have still my values and my values and contrast detail. What has more detail, what has less detail, and that's what kind of gives it that idea of differentiations and contrast, and just giving it the composition that it needs. The center, the table's more in the center. The characters are a little off-centered. One on the right, one on the left, and then they're just having some tea. So that's how I did my more of approach on that, and it kind of gives it that warm feeling. It's definitely good for this time of season because it is October, which means that it's also the fall. So it kind of gives it that nice warming feeling to it, and well, that's how it helped me go through more of this exercise as this project went on. I think that's what helped me kind of learn a bit about this is that how many different ways you could play with warm colors and with those different variations.